There's a new me coming out, and I just have to live, and I wanna give. I'm completely positive. I think this time around I am gonna do it like you never knew it. Oh, I'll make it through. The time has come for me to break out of the shell. I have to shout that I am coming out. There's a new me coming out.
Welcome to the show Never Too Late Ever, where we focus on making the next chapter of your life the very best chapter ever. Doesn't that sound good? I am your host, Lorraine Hoving. I am thrilled that you are here today. There is a reason. This day could change your life. Open your heart, your ears, and listen. You may find a treasure that you can apply to your life today. Well, I am really excited to have our guest today, Kathy. How are you? Are you there, Kathy?
I am, Lorraine. Thank you for having me today.
I am so thrilled. So let me tell you a little bit about Kathy. And you're going to love this. She is a small business owner of Joyful Movement. So everything about Kathy is joyful, and that's what I love. She is a movement educator and Joyful Movement fat loss coach for those over 50, and has 40 years of experience as a fitness instructor. She still teaches 5 Tai Chi classes a week. I'd love to know a little bit more about Tai Chi, has private pilot clients, and started taking Kung Fu and medical and how do you pronounce this? QiQong?
QiQong. QiQong.
QiQong. QiQong.
QiQong. QiQong. Yes.
So she started those at age 66. Amazing. She will have her black belt by age 70. I love it. Her background of knowledge has kept her and her clients safe from injuries, restored clients back to their youthful movement, and greatly decreased their pain while increasing their strength and mobility. Kathy leads groups coaching online for joyful movement and joyful weight loss. I love the word joyful in weight loss. She believes that you must be joyful and relaxed to learn new ways to create lasting vitality through our longer lifespan. Her leadership has moved her towards speaking and constantly learning from her coaches, team leaders, and teachers to help others have a lasting, joyful life well into their golden years. Wow, now that sounds terrific. Sign me up.
Yes, that's what I just love doing it and seeing the results. It's amazing.
Okay,
and,
we're gonna. I'm so excited. Well, I want to start with one question because you are a joyful person. What wakes you up, Kathy, in the morning on fire?
Oh my gosh, I get to have another wonderful day of talking with people, teaching people, and coaching them, and it makes my heart grow bigger and bigger every day. And if I don't do it, I really miss it.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I ask that question to I'd say almost every guest. Once in a while, I miss a guest. We start somewhere else. But I would say predominantly what wakes people up in the morning is serving others. And through a joyful movement, this is wonderful. So you've entitled this interview today, Joyful Movement, How to Restore Your Body and Gentle Stretches. Now, the other day I was going through Facebook and suddenly I saw Kathy on there and she had these stretches and I was having a little bit of sciatic pain right at the moment. And that's exactly what she was talking about. And so it was just some exercise she was showing me how to do. And so I ran into the kitchen and did them, and it really, really helped. So what I like about some of your, what I like about your movement, it's sometimes simple. So what is restorative exercise? What does that mean? Or whole body alignment? What does that mean, Kathy?
It means doing exercises that are not hard, but they're difficult because we've never done them any time in our life. And we can restore our whole body alignment, meaning that our skeleton is lined up with our shoulders over our heels, rather than over the balls of the feet. And people think, from sports and everything, you got to be on your toes. You got to be on your toes. And it's really what's causing knee replacements and osteoporosis because you're not loading the weight straight over your skeleton. And if you sit forward or back, if your shoulders are not over your hips, you're missing the loading of the weight over the skeleton. So restoring your body there are about 50 exercises, but most people just need to do about 5 because everybody has a different body. And the way they walk, the way they sit, the way they live their life is particular to them. And so we have scientifically proven beyond a doubt, without just as sure as the law of gravity works, this works. And I've been teaching it for 8 years now, and I have had amazing results. So you saw me do something sitting on a chair that helped relieve your sciatica. And so there are exercises that you just wouldn't think to do because you don't think of stretching while sitting. And when you're standing, restoring your body has to do with straightening the back line of your body, not the front line. Do you notice, Lorraine, that people lean forward a lot as they get older and they look down? Yeah,
absolutely.
And do you notice that there's something called the senior shuffle where they shuffle their feet as they get older?
Exactly.
Hopefully we're not there, but it happens. And also women walk with their feet too close together or stand with their feet too close together, and men stand with their feet too far apart. And that's why men have tighter groins and why women need hip replacements.
Interesting.
If you notice models on the runway and the way they walk, that's the most exaggerated form of how they walk and swing that leg around and touch down their foot in front of the other. Well, guess what? A lot of us just walk too narrow, and so it's shearing the hip joint and the femur bone inside there.
Wow.
And so, yeah, isn't that amazing?
You know what's amazing?
It's so easy.
Yeah. It's amazing. I've learned some things already. So because I think what you're going to teach my audience today is being aware of some things that they didn't know. Now, I didn't realize that you should be shifting your weight to your heel. And I love that little tip there. And then also when you started talking about sitting in a chair, I immediately sat up because I heard you say it. And I may know that with my shoulders, but I don't always do it. So these little tips are like incredible. And so as women, you're saying we need to walk with our feet a little further apart.
That's right. That's right. The width of your sits bones, the bones that you sit on, and your toes to be straight forward. And as a former dancer, my feet were turned out. And when you walk forward like that, that's really bad on your knees. And it didn't happen to me, but it creates bunions on your feet,
right?
Because you're pushing off with your foot turned out like that. So a lot of dancers do have bunions. So really, it's all about stretching the back line of your body, starting with your feet. And the most important exercise that people should do every day is to stretch their calves.
Oh, I want to hear about it. Okay. Just stretching your calves? Okay, tell us about that.
Okay, so everybody has a towel at home that they could use and roll up. It could be a bath towel. If you're smaller, use a hand towel. Or you could use a yoga mat rolled up and unroll it just a little bit. And you would step with one foot on the edge of it with the ball of the foot over the top part, the highest point of the roll of the towel, and the heel goes on the floor. So that's going to stretch the bottom of the foot in a negative heel flexion, which means the heel is lower than the ball of the foot, and it also stretches the calf, which also stretches behind the knee. And that's where the hamstring is tight. And if you stay there for 30 seconds or more, it goes all the way up to your low back. And this is where people think they need to go to the doctors to get their back healed. Healed, not healed, Healed.
I get it.
And really, you could just restore your body with this restorative exercise called a single calf stretch. And you do this, I do it 3 times a day, but it's the first thing I do in the morning. And I have my rolled up towel in front of my sink, and I do it in the bathroom. And I do it while I'm brushing my teeth. And I do 30 seconds on one foot and then 30 seconds on the other.
Wow.
And so, well, I don't know if you've ever slept on your side. I do that, and that's the recommended position. But when you do, usually 1 or 2 knees are bent. And when you do that, your back is straight. And we need to have that natural curvature at the low part of the back. So you can wake up with aches and pains in your low back. You can restore it back immediately by doing that calf stretch. Isn't that amazing?
It is absolutely amazing, because stretches can be done simply. We don't have to go to the gym to go do our stretches. We can do that at home. So how often?
That's right.
So you would say every day do the calf stretches. Are there other exercises that we could do in our home every day that would be really important and simple?
Yes, there are 5 of them, and I'm going the second 5 of them total. But you might not need that. I like if there's one you do every day, it's that single leg calf stretch. But there's a double leg calf stretch. If you put both feet on there, and you put your heels on the floor, and both feet are up on that towel or yoga mat, and then you keep your back up straight, but you have your hands on a counter or a back of a chair, and you keep your back up, but you drop your head and you lift what I call your happy puppy tail up.
I
like
think
you're going to wag your tail.
I think you might have done that online. Yes. Happy puppy tail. Okay. So, Kathy, what would be the number 3 exercise? We've got the first 2, so number 3.
Number 3 is what I call the pelvic lift. A pelvic lift, did you ever see somebody holding a baby and stand on one hip and their hip kind of goes out to the side? That's a pelvic lift.
Like when they're when they're in the grocery store holding the baby, you can see it on one side. Yes.
Or if kids are holding books, a stack of books for their homework that they're bringing home. I remember that feeling. What happens is your muscles inside your hip joint are being stretched horizontally instead of vertically up and down. And we get used to this. And if people try to find their balance by standing on one hip and throwing that hip out because they're used to it, and I see this a lot in yoga classes, and I heal it in my Tai Chi and QiQong classes, that they need to learn to press down on their heel and lift up in their hip. There is a gluteus medius muscle, that's what it's called, where the ball of the femur bone inside your hip is lifted upwards, not sideways. And this is a muscle most of us have never used. And so we practice this pelvic lift of getting your weight back on the heel, standing up straight. You press down on the heel, but you lift up in the hip, and you try. Most people can hold it for 5 to 10 seconds in the beginning, and you might feel a little bit of strain in your hip. It's sore, and then you stop. And you repeat it 4 times and do the other side. You work your way up to 30 seconds.
Perfect.
And when you do that, that's great. That will help you.
I love it. As you know what, Kathy, it's so funny as you talk, I'm kind of going through the motion myself, even though I'm sitting, so that I can visualize that. And I would encourage the audience as Kathy's talking, even if you can practice as she talks, so that you can have an understanding, because I think these are invaluable as as we age. So what would be number 4, Kathy?